Never confuse being busy with being productive. That's the trap most of us fall into every single day, and it's costing us more than just time. Let me ask you something. How many times have you ended your day feeling exhausted, like you were running on a treadmill of tasks, yet you barely made a dent in what actually matters? Yeah, same here. That's where the Eisenhower Matrix comes in. And no, it's not just another productivity buzzword. This thing's a legit game changer. Today, you're going to learn not just what the Eisenhower Matrix is, but how to actually use it with real-life examples that will flip the way you plan your day, your week, your life. We're breaking it down in the simplest way possible. And by the end of this video, you'll finally know how to stop being busy and start being effective. All right, so let's start with what the heck this matrix actually is. Back in the day, President Dwight D. Eisenhower, the former US president and a 5-star general, had this wild ability to make decisions super fast, under pressure. When people asked him how he did it, he shared something powerful. What is important is seldom urgent, and what is urgent is seldom important. That quote became the basis for what we now call the Eisenhower Matrix. It's basically a box, a 2x2 grid, 4 squares that separate every single task in your life into one of 4 categories: do, decide, delegate, and delete. Let's break it down. Top left box, important and urgent. This is the do it now zone. Think crisis situations, last-minute deadlines, broken water pipe kind of stuff. Top right, important but not urgent. This is the sweet spot. Long-term goals, health, planning, learning, all the stuff that moves your life forward, but never screams for attention. Bottom left, not important but urgent. These are distractions disguised as emergencies. Other people's ASAP emails, unexpected calls, interruptions, tasks that feel urgent but don't add value. Bottom right, not important and not urgent. Netflix binges, infinite scrolling, checking your 17th notification of the day, basically the time wasters. Now here's why this matrix isn't just smart, it's critical. Most people live in quadrant 1 and 3. They spend their days putting out fires and reacting to other people's priorities. So even if they're working all day, they're not actually getting anywhere. Let's make this real with a quick story. Imagine Sarah, a graphic designer working from home. Her to-do list looks like this. Finish a client presentation due tomorrow, important and urgent. Schedule her annual health checkup, important but not urgent. Respond to a dozen Slack messages, not important but urgent. Scroll Instagram for inspiration, not important, not urgent. Work on her dream portfolio site, important but not urgent. Guess what she ends up doing first? Yep, the Slack messages, because they ping her, because they feel urgent, and because it's easy. What does she ignore? That portfolio site. The one thing that could land her bigger clients and level up her entire career. That's the trap. We confuse activity with progress. Now let's flip that. What if Sarah starts her day using the Eisenhower Matrix? First, she draws her 4-box grid on paper or opens up a tool like Notion or TickTick. Then, she drops each task into the right quadrant. Client presentation, top left, do it now. Portfolio site, top right, schedule it for deep work time. Slack messages, bottom left, delegate or time box them later. Instagram scrolling, bottom right, just delete or limit it. In 10 minutes, she has a battle plan. And more importantly, she's leading her day, not reacting to it. Here's the deal though, it's not always black and white. Some tasks feel important but aren't. That's why you've got to ask yourself these 2 questions. 1. Is this task going to make a meaningful impact on my goals or values? 2. Is this task time sensitive or just giving me anxiety? When you start using those questions, you'll be shocked how many of your must-dos are actually can-waits, or even should never happens. Let's go through a few more real-life examples to cement this. You're a student prepping for finals. Here's how your tasks might fall into the matrix. Studying for tomorrow's exam? Important and urgent. Reviewing next week's chapters early? Important but not urgent. Answering group project texts? Not important but urgent. Watching TikToks between chapters? Not important, not urgent. You're a small business owner. Handling a customer complaint that could hurt your reputation? Important and urgent. Designing a sales funnel for next month? Important but not urgent. Replying to a newsletter vendor pitch? Not important but urgent. Refreshing your website's about page for the 12th time? Not important, not urgent. And here's a good one. Personal life. Picking up your sick kid from school? Obviously important and urgent. Planning a family vacation to reconnect? Important but not urgent. Replying to a random WhatsApp message from your uncle about crypto? Not important but urgent. Binge watching an entire show on Sunday because you earned it. You guessed it. Not important, not urgent. See how this works? Okay, now let's talk about the trap most people fall into, the burnout loop. Here's how it happens. You ignore quadrant 2, the important but not urgent stuff, because it doesn't yell at you. So you never plan, never exercise, never rest, never think. Eventually, your life gets chaotic. And guess what? All those quadrant 2 tasks move to quadrant 1. They become crises. You didn't plan the project. Now it's due tomorrow. You didn't take care of your health. Now you've got a scare. You didn't invest in your marriage. Now it's on fire. Neglecting quadrant 2 creates quadrant 1. That's the golden rule of the Eisenhower Matrix. If you only take one thing from this video, take this. Spend more time in quadrant 2. That's where your life changes. That's where growth happens. So how do you actually apply this in your day-to-day? Here's a simple system. Every night or morning, take 5 to 10 minutes to list out your tasks. Not just work tasks, all of them. From call mom to submit taxes. Then categorize them into the matrix. Top left, do. Schedule these early in the day. Top right, decide. Time block these into your calendar. Bottom left, delegate. Can someone else do this? Can you automate it? Bottom right, delete. Be ruthless. Protect your time like it's gold, because it is. Use apps if you want. Tick, Notion, Todoist, Evernote. But don't let tools distract you from the habit. You can do this with sticky notes if you want. What matters is the thinking process. Another tip, don't overload your day with too many tasks in each quadrant. Limit it, especially quadrant 1. Your brain can only handle so much urgency before it melts down. And here's something most people don't talk about: emotions. We often stay busy to avoid discomfort. You might keep checking emails because writing that sales page makes you anxious. You might clean your desk instead of editing the video because it feels hard. The Eisenhower Matrix helps you confront those avoidance habits head-on. Here's how I personally use it. Every morning I open a blank note. I dump every single task and thought in my head. Then I ask, is this important? Is this urgent? I mark each task with a code. A equals do it now. B equals schedule it. C equals delegate it. D equals delete it. By the time I finish, I'm clear. I'm focused. And best of all, I'm not chasing other people's fires. I'm building my own bonfire, slowly, but with purpose. Let me give you a visual metaphor. Imagine your day is a jar. The big rocks are the important things. The small pebbles are the urgent, but not important ones. The sand is everything else, the time wasters. If you start by filling your jar with sand and pebbles, there's no room for the big rocks. But if you place the big rocks first, everything else can squeeze around it. The Eisenhower Matrix helps you place your big rocks first. So the real question is, are you running your day, or is your day running you? Are you letting urgency dictate your priorities, or are you choosing them intentionally? It's time to stop reacting and start leading, even if it's just your own life. Because productivity isn't about doing more, it's about doing what matters. And that starts with knowing what matters. So if today's the day you want to finally break out of that busy but not effective trap, use the Eisenhower Matrix. It's simple, it works, and it'll give you your time and your sanity back. Hit that next video to go deeper into how to schedule your day like a pro using this exact system.